Well, hello there. So, today I want to talk to you about something that I think is critical when we're doing this work on parenting our children around food and even reparenting ourselves and working on our own relationship with food. And so often we get caught up in kind of the nitty gritty of what do I say? What do I do? Right? How do I serve the food? How do I respond when they ask for a snack? How often should I serve it? What do I put on the table? We're always looking for these really specific things in terms of our behaviors. And what's really important is that we also look at the bigger picture concepts around this work that we're doing. And that's what I want to talk about today. And this is a really important concept, especially if you're maybe feeling a little bit stuck in what you're doing with your child. If maybe you are not seeing the results that you think you should be seeing, or if you just feel like there's something missing in the way that you're feeding, in their relationship with food, or even in your own relationship with food. Okay. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story about something that happened a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was on Christmas Eve. Pretty sure it was Christmas Eve, actually. And my husband came walking in and he had a drink tray, you know, those trays that hold multiple drinks. And there were these three big slushies on them, like bright green slushies that he came carrying in. And I was in the midst of getting things ready, and we have been baking cookies for multiple days now. We're about to have Christmas Eve. We're having Christmas Day the next day. So there's lots of cookies and pies, and we've been having neighbors deliver, sweets over in, canisters of cookies and brownies that they've baked. And we've had boxes of seeds candy and other things like that. So I'm just thinking, like, this has all been fine. It's part of the season. But then when my husband came walking in, I noticed, I thought, like, what? Why are you getting more sugar when we already have in abundance? So that's where my thought went. And I didn't say anything in front of my children out loud. I did say something to my husband, something along the lines of, oh, we already have a lot of sugar around. You just got more sweets? Like something like that. And I caught myself out loud saying it. And I paused and I thought, okay, Nicole, what's going on, right? And I took a breath and I just thought, Nicole, you trust your kids. You can trust them to navigate all of these sweets. And I thought, sure, no big deal. And so we gave them the slushies. They already knew Dad had gotten them. It wasn't a thing. One of them was with him, I think. And so it was a thing. It wasn't like I'm going to hide these or not give them. Nothing was happening. Nothing was changing different. All that changed was me taking that breath and going, oh yeah, this is not a big deal. You trust them. It's just some sugar. Let's see what happens. Right? That was it. So what did happen was they got their slushies. I dumped two of them almost entirely, to be honest with you. They barely had any of them. One of them had a good portion, and that was that. And we all moved on. And it wasn't that big of a deal. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes they might have guzzled it down. I don't know. That happens too. But just to share, like, I just stepped into that space, let them have it. And that was the outcome. The outcome is not as important, though, as the mindset and the shift around it and being able to go into that situation with that sort of energy. All right. The reason I say the outcome is not that important is because kids tend to balance out their intake over time. So had they all drank all of those slushies that day, maybe they wouldn't have wanted cookies later. Or maybe they would have wanted cookies later, but the next day they would have wanted nothing to do with any of it. Okay. I don't know how it would have all played out. That is how this one particular situation played out, though. But the most important thing is that I stepped into that place of trust. And when that happens, everything else relaxes. Okay. But if we're not trusting, I want you to think of how that situation might go. I might have walked in and said, okay, you got these, but you can only have X amount of them. And then we're dumping the rest down, or we're saving them for tomorrow, which they would have been gross and watered down anyways. Or I might have tried to take them and pretend like, oh, dad never brought these to begin with. And do you feel how that energy starts to shift where I'm trying to control the situation? And if you remember last week, we talked a little bit about control versus support. Which one are you really trying to do in the feeding relationship? And so to me, in this situation, they already knew the sweets were there. They had already seen them. My husband had bought them. Like, yeah, the supportive thing to do is to allow them to have them and to also continue to put out a variety of other food for them to have throughout the day, including sweets, because those are included. It's Christmas Eve, right? So they're going to get all of that. Okay. So when we step into, I don't trust them, I need to control this, everything else changes, and our kids feel that too. Instead, when we go into I can trust them, they felt like they had permission. And that permission feels like sweets aren't going away. I can have the amount that I need right now, right? And if I don't want the rest, I don't have to, because I'm going to get them again and again, right? So we really need to think about what are our thoughts going into it? What is our body language? What is our energy saying to our kids? What are they going to pick up on and feel? And this isn't just about sweets. It's about any type of food, right? It could be about you need to eat your protein, right? It could be that if you want to have more of the bread, you need to try your vegetables. It could be that after 2 pieces of pizza, if you're still hungry, fruit or vegetable is available, but that's all that we're having. It could be whatever it is, but are there places in this relationship, this feeding relationship with your child, or again, you can be thinking about yourself as well, that you don't trust your child or yourself? And then how might you be showing up in these different situations? How might you be presenting? What might your energy be showing, right? Even if I am still allowing them to have it, I personally feel my body change when I think about like, it's so much sugar. And then I go and want to deliver them with the slushies or whatever they are, right? I feel my body language change. Can you imagine how they might be picking up on that versus taking a breath and thinking, I trust my child, and then letting them have it? Think about how that feels different to you. I actually want you to practice that. What would it feel like for you to say, this is just so much sugar, and then think about giving your kids something? I feel tense versus, okay, I trust them. They can have this. How does your body relax? What are they going to pick up on? So again, this is that big picture concept, though, of trust and about catching our own thoughts. I had to catch my own thoughts, right? We all have thoughts about food. They're all around us. They're constantly being delivered to us by, other people that we come in contact with, by social media, by the regular media, by family, by physicians, everybody, by the schools. We're constantly being given information that's more fear-based, that's more about controlling our intake. So it's normal to have those thoughts come up. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. If you have thoughts like, that's too much sugar, that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. That just means that you're a human. And we want to have awareness about those thoughts, because with awareness comes the ability to change to, right? I trust them. Or, oh, sugar is just a molecule. They're going to be perfectly fine even if they have a bit more today. So it's also about changing that thought work, which we will continue to talk more about, but I just wanted to point out that piece as well. But the bigger concept here is trust, because trust is going to inform the way that we show up in that relationship, whether it feels more supportive or if it feels more controlling. It's going to shift our energy, again, and our kids pick up on that, okay? It's going to also create trust in our children in terms of how they feel about themselves in their own relationship with food and how they are navigating food, right? If they feel like, my parents don't trust me, they're probably going to think, I can't trust myself. which also means, right, I might need to look for outside resources to tell me how much I should eat. Or it might just mean I'm out of control with food. And that becomes the story that they tell themselves. And whatever story we're telling ourselves, we're going to keep recreating, right? So, what kind of story are we giving to our child? Are we giving them one of trust or one of mistrust, right? One of control or support? How are we showing up and what are we feeding them, both literally and figuratively? Okay. So I want you to think about that. I want you to practice that, to feel how that might shift in your body when you think different thoughts about it, when you relax into it, and think about the energy that your child might be picking up on. And that is just one simple line that you can start to practice as a really actionable step. I trust my child. And if that feels too far-fetched, I want you to think about what can you actually adopt today? Like if that doesn't feel like it resonates, then it's just going to be like you're telling yourself a lie. So if that doesn't resonate, could you say, I'm working on trusting my child? Might that be a step in the right direction? All right. That is it for today. I just wanted to share my story with you because none of us are perfect at this. We are all constantly doing the work to reprogram, to catch ourselves, to gain awareness, and to work towards a trusting relationship with food for ourselves and our child. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here with me right now. And I will be chatting with you soon. Okay. Bye-bye for now.